All right, guys, welcome back. My name is Zia, and this is Crypto Polaris. You are probably wondering what is going on with Bitcoin? What is all this up and down, and what is the real story behind Bitcoin? I'm here to explain to you what is going on and also give you fundamental reasons why you need to hold on to your Bitcoin, because a lot is happening. A lot has happened and a lot is happening. So those are the things that I want to talk to you about. So without any further ado, why don't we get started here and see what we have to talk about here. So the title of this slide is HODL, FUD, and Fundamentals. What do I mean by that? As we all know, in the Bitcoin industry, we have to HODL. HODL stands for hold on for dear life. That's what we're doing right now. And that's why I wanted to do this video. We're also making sure that we stay ahead of all of these FUD. What does FUD mean? FUD means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Guys, when Bitcoin takes a dive, everyone comes out saying this is the end of the world, Bitcoin is over, pack your bags, go home. I will hopefully alleviate some of these fears, uncertainty, and doubt you may have about Bitcoin right now. Because you saw Bitcoin go to 124, and it went down yesterday or day before down to $109,000. Right now, I believe it's around 112. So let's talk about that. And in order for you to HODL and not fall for FUD, you have to truly understand the fundamentals. So what this graphics is going to do, and I'm going to walk you through one by one, and it's very important to understand what has happened. So let's talk about number one. Number one is Genius Act. The Genius Act was passed back in July. That's last month only. What is the Genius Act? It now allows stable coins such as USDC, USDT to be completely legal, and they can now buy US Treasuries, meaning it needs to be backed one for one. So one USDT or USDC must have one US dollar behind it. So that's why it's called stable. So Genius Act has another name called Stable Act. So now we have complete clarity and faith and full faith of the United States government behind the stable coin. Now you're going to probably wonder, what does this have to do with Bitcoin? Guys, you have to remember, Genius Act now allows you and me to legally hold USDC or USDT, which is an on-ramp onto the crypto. So all of us, with the click of a button now from our bank, be able to take USD and convert it into USDC or USDT and leave it on chain, meaning on an exchange. And that means a lot of people will be moving their USD into USDC and USDT, and that allows you instantaneously buy Bitcoin and other cryptos. So this Genius Act is really, really good for Bitcoin. So hang on for all of that. Now, the next thing, which is very important for you to understand, is the Clarity Act. And this is an act that was passed in the full House just last month. And now it's in the Senate. And it is waiting to be approved by full Senate, and that will go to Donald Trump hopefully in September, and he will sign it into law, just like he signed Genius Act into law. What is Clarity Act? This is one of the most important legislation that we are going to pass. Now, let me take you to a site here which will show you what this is. So this is a real act that is sitting at the Senate right now. Can you see this? Let me highlight that. See, over here it was introduced, full House passed it last month, and now it is sitting in the Senate. And once the full Senate passes, it will go to the president, and it will become the law. So what does this Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025 does? Let me explain to you real quick. It now allows SEC to govern anything that is security, and it also allows CFTC, those are the guys that manage gold and anything related to commodity. So Bitcoin has been designated as a commodity, and it will be overseen by CFTC. No more SEC getting involved, calling this a security. Same thing with Ethereum, same thing with XRP, and many others are going to be deemed a commodity under the Clarity Act. And finally, we're going to have complete clarity about which one is a security and which one is a commodity. And I have news for you. There are over, God knows how many millions, tens of millions of crypto tokens out there. Once this Clarity Act goes into effect, all of those tokens that are people creating just like that on Solana, on Ethereum, you name it, there are tens of millions of these tokens out there. They will all have to be governed by SEC. Majority of these coins will disappear. We will finally have complete clarity. 99.9% of these tokens, tens of millions of them, will disappear because they do not want to be governed by the SEC. And we will now have a set of commodities like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and others. And we'll have a set of securities that will be governed just like stocks that SEC does. So this is really, really good for Bitcoin. And this is going to bring in a lot of money into the crypto world. Number 3, very important, SAB or SOB 121. This was enacted a few years ago where banks could not hold digital currency. Well, it was repealed just in January of 2025 with SAB 122 that now allows banks like your Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and other banks to open checking account and saving account, and instead of having cash, they can now open it to hold Bitcoin, open it to hold Ethereum, open it to hold XRP, and other types of digital assets. These banks are going to be able to open this up. Imagine what that does. It then makes everything normalized in the world of banking with respect to digital currency, which is really, really good for the Bitcoin world, as well as other cryptos. But I'm here to talk about Bitcoin today. So let's keep going. ETFs. We have spot ETF on Bitcoin. And because of that, millions and millions of Bitcoins are being bought every day. And I want to touch on that a little bit. And number 5 is corporate treasury. So I want to touch on both of these things together. And let me take you back to the slide here. And let's just take a look at what I mean by that. If I look up here, I want to talk to you about the corporate treasury companies. I'll come back to this in a second. But let's scroll down to this website. This is a beautiful website. There are 3.68 million Bitcoin that are being held by ETFs. ETF now has bought 1.4 million Bitcoins, guys. 1.4 million Bitcoin. And public companies, which are the corporate treasuries, they bought so far almost 1 million Bitcoin. So do you remember how many Bitcoins there are? We always say there can be no more than 21 million Bitcoin. But we have already mined approximately 19,800,000 Bitcoins. Of those guys, 3 to 5 million, arguably, Bitcoins have been lost forever. Forever. So we really will never have 21 million Bitcoin. If anything, in totality, we may have 15 to 16 million maximum. Okay? So what is important to understand is out of those supplies, 3.68 million have been just scooped up. Where are they? Out of those, 1.47 million are in the ETFs and 989,000 of them are inside of public companies such as MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, Mara, and all the other ones. So let me talk a little bit about the public companies. So let me scroll up. Right now, if you look over here, number 1 is Strategy. Can you see that? Maybe I need to make that a little bit bigger. See that? Number 1 is Strategy. Number 2 is Mara. Number 3 is 11, which I'll explain what that means. Actually, that's 21, not 11. That's owned by a very famous guy, and we'll touch on that, and I've got videos on that. Then we've got other companies in here. Riot Platform, there's MetaPlanet. Trump Media also owns a lot of Bitcoin. Let's see how much they own. 15,000 Bitcoins. So if you go down this list, there are approximately top 100 that are listed. Obviously, there are a lot more than 100. Top 100 owns 988,000 Bitcoins. I don't think you can see that because of me. Let me scroll down. So here we go. So there's 988,000 Bitcoins owned by top 100 publicly traded company, and they're buying every day. You probably heard the news. MicroStrategy keeps buying every week. And all these guys are buying every week. So keep that in mind. They are taking supply away. Now let me take you to this website, which is all the exchanges where you can buy Bitcoin. Coinbase. Everyone's heard of Coinbase. They only have 698,000 Bitcoins. And there's Binance. They only have 578,000 Bitcoins. If you go down and you've got Bitfinex, Gemini, you can see all of these names, Kraken, everybody knows about Kraken, and all of these top exchanges. These are exchanges where the spot BTCs are that you and I buy when we go to Coinbase and all of these exchanges. Top 20 exchanges hold 2.2 million Bitcoins. That's it, guys. The rest of the coins are owned by you and me. So if I go back, before I go back, let me show you this chart. This is very, very important. The one in yellow or gold, I'm a little colorblind, is BTC price. And the one in green is the balance of Bitcoin in the exchanges. Guys, look at this chart. The green keeps going down, 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 down. And let me scroll this up a little bit. See, the green keeps going down. What does that mean? That means the supply of Bitcoin, meaning available Bitcoin, are being sucked up by you and me and other publicly traded companies and ETFs. And look at the price of Bitcoin keeps going up, up, up. So you've got a divergence here. So all the fundamentals are intact, okay? The fundamentals are intact. Let me go back up here and bring you back to this chart where if I go down and you take a look, 3.68 million is in total supply, if you want to call it, in ETF, in public companies, in the government, and also the exchanges. We just looked at the exchanges, and that's what the exchanges have. And all of these guys don't have any more than a couple of million available for all of us to buy. What do you think is going to happen as the ETFs keep sucking up all of these? And that's really the trick here, that all of this supply and demand is eating up everything. Real quick, if I go down, there's a lot of data on this website, which is really not where we need to focus on. Let me scroll down a little bit more. I've zoomed in a lot, so that's why it's a little difficult. There's really nothing more that I want to show you other than you can see the distribution of Bitcoins. The green is the iShare Bitcoin Trust. They hold 749. Strategy holds all of these, 632,000. Grayscale still holds 185,000 Bitcoin. You can see the distribution of Bitcoins amongst all the companies, amongst all the ETFs, and amongst all the countries in pink, and all the exchanges over here. We're running out of Bitcoin, guys, and that's really the intent behind this website, okay? So let me go back up and go back to where I was so I can explain this to you. So let's go back and see. We were on number 4 and number 5. We were talking about ETFs and corporate treasuries. So now let's talk a little bit about the pension funds, okay? What do I mean by pension funds? There are all these state pension funds, such as in California, CalPERS, in Wisconsin, you can see that, Minnesota, you can see that, United Kingdom, and Australia. They are all being bought up every day, directly Bitcoin or indirectly Bitcoin. And what I mean by indirectly is through MicroStrategy and through ETF, they're buying all these Bitcoin. Guys, the purpose of number 6 is to demonstrate to you that Bitcoin supply is draining. If you believe in supply and demand economics, Bitcoin price has no place but to keep going up. Don't pay attention to the FUDs, these incremental FUDs that we're having, where Bitcoin goes to 124, then drops to 109. Right now it's 112. I don't pay attention to any of these things because I believe in the fundamentals of what is happening to the Bitcoin. Number 7, Bitcoin Strategic Reserve coupled with Bitcoin Act of 1 million. What is that? There is a strategic reserve that's been signed by Donald Trump to buy Bitcoin and to hold Bitcoin forever. In our United States Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, we want to hold Bitcoin and other assets, but specifically Bitcoin was signed into executive order by Donald Trump to hold Bitcoin. Bitcoin Act is now something that's in the Congress. And let me take you and show you what that is. So right here, you can see it says Bitcoin Act of 2025. And Right now, it was introduced in the Senate by our Senator Cynthia Lummis. So once that's introduced, Senate will have to vote. So that's where it is right now. Once Senate passes, it will go to the House, then the president will sign. What this does, guys, the Bitcoin Act allows United States government to buy minimum 1 million Bitcoin. The moment this gets passed, what do you think will happen to the price of Bitcoin? So I cannot impress upon you, the supply is going down. The moment US buys or says they're going to buy, it becomes a law. Game theory kicks in. Other countries, I am sure, right now quietly buying, but other countries will then start to put this into their strategic reserve. Next is sovereign funds. There are many sovereign funds currently buying. United Arab Emirates, we know, are buying Bitcoin directly and indirectly through MicroStrategy and ETFs and others. Last but not least is US State Treasuries. Let me show you what I mean by that. And let's go to another website right here. This is the status of all the states in the United States that are now buying in their, just like corporate treasury, this is now state treasury that they want to buy Bitcoins. Well, Arizona, New Hampshire, Texas have already passed the laws, they've enacted them, and they are buying Bitcoin. Every week they're buying Bitcoin. Then we've got all these guys, Massachusetts, I think this is Michigan, Ohio, and all of these are at various stages of buying Bitcoin, but they can't buy until it is completely passed. So you can go to this website and see what all these different states are doing. But the big states have already started. The biggest state that I can see here is Texas, and this is really going to keep going for a long time. So guys, you know, what I want to tell you is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just wanted to give you 10 fundamental reasons why the price of Bitcoin will keep going up. Don't fall for these short-term FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, because the supply and demand dictates the price of Bitcoin is headed to 1 million or more. I've done other videos you can check out that gives you more reasons why Bitcoin would go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million and more. And I've got price predictions and all that. I'll link that to this video so you can see. So in summary, what I want to tell you is everything is sound, everything is good. I would not panic because of these reasons that I've listed. And if you have any doubt, guys, zoom out. What I mean by zoom out, I don't have the chart ready, but if you look at the Bitcoin chart and you zoom out on a daily basis, but more importantly, monthly basis, you'll see the Bitcoin is just keep going up, up, and up. So hang tight, guys. And it's been a pleasure to share this with you. I think you'll be okay by holding Bitcoin and many others, but this specifically is about Bitcoin. And this Clarity Act is really going to segregate all the scam cryptos. They will disappear and you'll be left with Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, Solana, and many others. Chainlink is another one that I've got videos on. So it was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and send me DMs. And let me know what you think of this. And I look forward to doing many more videos. Take care. Have a great night.